I would like to talk about the power of the private world. What is the difference between good acting and great acting? In this video, I will discuss an ingredient that is often overlooked and undervalued, the power of the private world. I'll explain what it really means and how incorporating it into your craft can help you open the door to becoming a better actor. One of the clearest differences between an average performance and a truly great and memorable one is totally invisible to the audience. It's not the accent, it's not emotional intensity, it's not charisma, appearance, or even technical precision. It is the existence of the private world. Great actors understand that the character's real life doesn't begin when the scene starts. The character has already lived for years, way before the audience even encounters them. They have memories, habits, fears, private humiliations, fantasies, emotional scars, contradictions, and secret desires operating underneath every line of the dialogue. Even in silence, something is happening internally. That invisible inner life is the thing that gives performances weight and makes acting feel like real life. Here's why audiences instinctively recognize truth. Audiences may not consciously identify the reasons why one performance feels truthful while another feels artificial, but they definitely instinctively recognize the difference. Human beings are extraordinarily sensitive to behavior that carries genuine internal meaning. We notice hesitation, suppression, avoidance, guardedness, and behavioral patterns constantly in real life. When actors attempt to imitate emotions in an external way without building an internal reality beneath them, something feels hollow because there is no humanity driving the behavior. But when an actor has successfully created a private world, everything changes. A whole world exists outside of the lines, and something as simple as a silence becomes rich with life. The actor no longer appears like they're trying to create an emotion. Instead, they appear to be living in an experience that already exists within them. The actor's instrument vibrates with history and depth. Let's talk about the character private moment exercise. This is a practical exercise that every artful actor can explore as a way to discover and build this private world of the character. The character private moment originated with Konstantin Stanislavski and was further adapted by Lee Strasberg. After building a foundation for the character's overall need and a history of the character that reaches back to the character's childhood, the actor then creates a place where the character spends time completely alone. Within this framework, the actor must relinquish any obligation to tell a story or to perform. In other words, don't treat it like a scene. The goal is to experience a true sense of privacy at the risk of being boring. And within that exploratory framework, the actor must then explore private activities that spring forth from the character's deepest unfulfilled need. The gold that is mined from this exercise is completely experiential, and the actor moves forward into the rehearsal process with a deeper connection to the character's privacy. Once the private moment is experienced by the actor, its power never fades. Great film directors such as Martin Scorsese understand the value of the private world so much that they actually wrote private moments into their films. Scorsese's Taxi Driver and Raging Bull are amazing examples, as well as an incredible reference for what a character private moment truly looks and feels like. The camera sees thought. This is why some actors can hold their presence on screen in absolute stillness. The camera detects inner life. It captures thoughts, memories, and inner struggle. Certain actors are magnetic, not because they're doing more, but because there is more happening underneath the surface. This truth of something happening inside, it automatically creates intensity behind the eyes. The strongest actors understand that every line exists on two levels simultaneously: the public persona and the private, vulnerable experience underneath it. The dialogue is only a fraction of what is actually manifesting in the scene. The words themselves matter so much less than the unseen emotional and historical conditions that manifest them. Specificity creates human behavior. This is also why specificity matters so deeply in acting. General emotional ideas tend to create generalized performances, but specific internal realities create behavior that is so unique and startlingly human. An actor that is privately carrying the memory of a painful and humiliating breakup, the smell of a hospital room, or a genuine fear of abandonment will behave much differently than an actor that is simply trying to indicate sadness. The nervous system changes automatically when the imagination becomes specific, and audiences feel that change immediately. One of the most overlooked parts of creating the private world is understanding what the character cannot ever admit, even to themselves. Human beings are filled with these contradictions. For example, confident people can be overwhelmed by insecurity. People that are loving can also be very intensely cruel. Funny people often hide despair. Powerful people fear exposure. Real, three-dimensional human beings are rarely predictable and rarely singular. When actors flatten the character out to one dominant trait, performances lose dimension and the performance flattens out. But when the actor can understand the internal contradictions and those unique private parts of the character's inner life, your work and your performance becomes dynamic, unpredictable, and alive. A character can express warmth while privately feeling intense jealousy. They can flirt and feel shame at the same time. They can appear composed while at the same time collapse internally. That friction creates complexity and it creates a human being. Private worlds transform listening. Many weak performances are not caused by poor line delivery, but by dead listening. Actors many times become preoccupied with saying the next line correctly or trying to hit planned transitions or planned out emotional moments, but real listening only happens when something meaningful is personally at stake. If the character deeply needs approval, fears rejection, hides guilt, or longs for connection, the other person's words suddenly mean everything. Listening becomes urgent because this interaction right now in the scene directly affects the character's private emotional survival. The scene stops becoming a performance and starts becoming an experience. Objects and spaces. This internal work expands well beyond the internal emotional life of the character and into the physical life as well. Objects, environments, and routines begin to carry meaning once a private world exists. A jacket might remind a character of an ex-lover. A watch may carry unresolved feelings towards a parent. Suddenly, behavior and ordinary objects becomes personal and specific. That specificity is what makes performances unforgettable. It's not about grand emotional displays. It's about small, private truths. The most compelling acting frequently happens in moments that the script never explicitly articulates. It might be a glance that lingers too long, a hesitation before touching someone, a joke that's used to deflect vulnerability, a tiny shift in breathing after digesting certain information. These types of details, these human things, cannot be manufactured mechanically. The goal for the actor is to have these things emerge naturally based on the work that you've done on your character. And they always come out naturally when the actor has successfully built an authentic, internal, private reality. Why? This makes all the difference on camera. The camera magnifies real thought. It captures the tiny nuances between what a character says and what they feel. Film rewards actors who can sustain a full and rich inner life without pushing for it. But even in the theater, where performance energy is larger, the same principle applies. Audiences are always hungry for the truth that lives underneath the lines. They want to sense that this character exists beyond the boundaries of the script. Creating that existence comes from the actor's process. The goal is freedom, not overthinking. Creating a private world does not mean inventing elaborate essays or intellectual theories about your character. In fact, overthinking can often become a huge trap. The goal is not to manufacture complexity for its own sake. The goal is to experience enough inner reality that spontaneous behavior emerges truthfully. Private world work should free up the actor's instinct, not suffocate it. At its best, this process allows the actor to stop performing and start really living. The actor no longer needs to force emotion because emotional conditions already exist organically. They're no longer searching for what to do because behavior arises naturally from the character's three-dimensional life. The performances we never forget. Unforgettable actors seem to possess a life occurring beyond the frame. You feel history inside of them. You sense memories, vulnerabilities, and private battles that are never fully explained. Their performances feel unfinished in the best possible way, like real people who are always carrying something invisible beneath the surface. That is the true power in creating the character's private world. It transforms acting from presentation to a human experience. And once an audience believes a real inner life is happening in front of them, they stop watching a performance. They start watching a living, breathing, human being. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website and to learn more about the new Collective Acting Studio and our private coaching membership. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.